Hello everyone. We all have emotional attachments with our schools, with our teachers, and with our childhood memories that we have spent in our schools and with our teachers, right? But let me tell you something. Those childhood memories, those teachers, and those schools are never going to help us to pay our real life bills. Those childhood memories are never going to help us survive in a corporate world. That education and those grades that we celebrated in schools are never going to help in a business world. When I started giving interviews just after my college, I realized that our schools and colleges do not teach super important survival skills for our life. When I started entering into a corporate world, started working in a different job, I faced so many problems in my life. And in fact, my colleagues also face the same problem. So it's very painful for me and many people who realize that why we spend years in schools, why teachers did not have any training and they ended up teaching those subjects which are super serious and important. And let me tell you, it takes years to even understand and learn some practical skills which we all could have learned in different schools and colleges without wasting our money and time. My friend Ryan Lobo is joining with me to discuss this serious matter. Please join in.
So, Chetan, today's topic is very, very interesting. And in fact, it's something that you're very passionate about and probably also a little angry about.
Yeah,
So, it's about schools and how schools could have ruined us.
yeah,
Can you tell me at what point did you realize that probably school did me more harm than any good?
yeah. So when I completed my college and I started giving interviews for my first job, I right away realized that the years I have spent and invested in my schools have did nothing in terms of benefits. And I was very angry, very frustrated, and there was too much pain in my heart. And I was waiting for this day where I come in front of the entire world and I can tell them that how schools, colleges, and teachers are actually doing more harm rather than solving problems in our life. And when we talk about these things in society, it's very hard to digest these things for many people because schools is something emotional. We have a lot of respect for the teachers and so many things. I also respect schools. I also respect teachers. But I want to make them accountable in all those areas where they are literally and openly failing in our life. So this is something, it's my honest anger that and I hope that many of the students, many of the parents, and many of the employees who are working in corporate sector are literally watching this episode to understand what they are missing and how they can make sure that not only government but on a lower level, even a teacher or a school can be challenged in many categories.
So, what you're saying is that school fails to prepare us for real life, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, in real life, when we try to get a job or we try to survive in a corporate world, or even if we start a business, there are many super important skills which are required. And I have seen not only in my life, but I have a lot of friends from my childhood and everywhere. They are struggling like anything. They are struggling like so much that we all have questions that why we were not prepared, groom and mentor for so many important skills in our life.
So, if you say we are missing skills because of school, what would you say is the number one skill that schools and educational institutes fail to teach their students?
Okay. So number one skill is super important, which is communication skills. Now I can challenge you right now that I have few businesses in which I need to hire like graphic designers, software developments, website designers, analysts and research analysts and so many things. Even right now, the biggest problem I see even in the interviews is that many people are smart. Many people are talented. They do have technical skills,
Yeah.
but they don't have any communication skills to crack the interviews.
Okay.
And not only during the interviews, even if these people are selected and when they reach to the companies during their first day, first month, first 6 months, first year, they lack too much communication skills about
Okay.
how to work with their colleagues,
Yeah.
how to work with different departments, how to work with their immediate boss or managers. And you will see right from the day when they try to give the interviews to the day they even survive 1 year in the corporate sectors, communication skills are so horrible that their entire progress is limited just because of the communication skills. Now, within communication skills, I am not talking about just English language, because English language is now a survival skill that you must have it. Without it, you cannot survive. And I can also tell you that when I was working in a software industry,
Yep.
we had so many software engineers, but they were not getting promoted. They were not able to discuss with the clients because they were lacking the proper knowledge of even English language.
Okay.
So you are a software engineer, you can code better, but then you still don't have a proper knowledge of English language. So your CEO or immediate manager will never allow you to face clients, because clients are coming from every part of the world,
Right.
right? And most of the corporate communication happens in English language nowadays.
Correct.
So these people are also very poor in terms of drafting emails, drafting the detailed reports. And I have seen the worst situations in which a talented software engineer is making grammatical mistakes while writing a code, or even throwing an error message, where a client have taken a screenshot of the error message which was written very poorly in English language. Imagine that you are a passionate developer.
Yep.
Imagine you have a technical solutions, but it's a major roadblock for you if you want to make a progress in your life.
So basically, you're saying English skills are also extremely important.
Yeah, because English skills, without English, you can't survive in this world. And even if you have an English language, if you are not better at communication with your manager, with your colleagues, in your emails, in your draft report, in your analysis, in your presentation, you are not going to get ahead.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Chetan, is that there are people who are good at speaking English.
Yeah.
But speaking the right type of English is also very important. Like in a corporate situation, what language would you use? Like if you're presenting to camera, for example, what language would you use? And where do you get that training? You said school does not give you that.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, even if you're good at English, you may not be good at communicating.
Yeah. Very interesting topic. And I can attest to my personal experience that when I started working in corporate sector, it was required that your communication is better. Otherwise, you can get easily fired in certain companies. I work in a banking sector. I work in a technological sector. So you are right that depends on your job. It's not about just knowing the communication or English, but the type of communication you required. Because if I'm facing my CEO or inter-department managers, if I need to present certain things, my language or my approach could be different from if I'm facing certain clients. Because to clients, I have to present in a different manner, different language.
Yep.
With inter-department, I have to use different language. Now, in this situation also, not only I face many challenges, my colleagues also started facing challenges, and then you lose your promotion chances also.
Yeah.
And that is something I call articulation. Articulation means that how you gonna prove your point, or how good at you are at convincing others about what you want to say. And many people are so bad at it, right? Even if they're coming from a nice colleges, it's all about the formal education. Now, we can complain a lot about this, but you ask me, what is the solution?
Right.
So my communication was also very poor. I was very nervous during interviews. And as a fresher, companies exploit you because of your nervousness and everything, because you are just a fresher. You lack so many communication skill to work with your leader also. Sometimes there are many things that I disagree with my leaders, but I could not say it in a proper way. Right? Let's say my boss is saying so many things and I'm disagreeing, but my disagreement sounds so much negative.
Yeah.
So I cannot put it in a good manner also. Right? And then there is a team meeting.
Yeah.
Now there are 5 to 10 team members are gathering around for a one decision.
Correct.
And you know that you actually have a better input,
Yep.
but you are unable to put it in a right way.
Yes.
And that's why it given me too much pain that what I did is I started reading books as much as possible. So many books. It doesn't matter even you read serious books. You read whatever the topics you like. You read mythology, you read fiction, non-fictional, stories, novels. Why? Because it will help you connect with the right kind of vocabulary and right way to say certain things also.
Yeah.
So it's up to you whether you want to specifically read the communication skills book.
Yeah.
But sometimes the good novels, sometimes the fiction and non-fiction books also, which you consider are just novels and stories, will actually help you to become better for your communication skill, and you will start developing too much confidence because of it.
That's amazing. I always encourage people to read books, and thank you for confirming that, because I believe books reading completely alters the way you think.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I saw a lot of my classmates very poor at communication. Like they didn't have the guts even to face people, to face the interviewers. If somebody asked, "Are there any questions in the room?" no hands would come up, and you see this very often. Probably I was different because I studied in various institutions. Like I went to different countries, and I had more exposure. But what is the solution for that, and why do you think that when you go to a normal school in India, many of the students lack that ability to speak, to communicate, to be bold?
I think it's hard to digest, but can I say that teachers are responsible for that, or the schools are not recruiting right kind of teachers? Because let me be very honest, if we have a teacher who have really worked in a corporate sector, who have gone through difficult challenges, they know what is the requirement of outside world. Many of our teachers are not exposed to the right kind of world. They are teaching the same curricular, or even if the subjects are being changed, the exposure of the teacher themselves is so limited that they are not associated with the outside world challenges. And I cannot even say it's outside world. It's just a world which is outside of the school.
Yeah.
It's just a real life. So we will never be able to learn. And it takes years. Let me tell you, it took me years to articulate myself. It took me years to draft better emails. It took me years to convince my manager the things which I know that I am right about it. It took me years to crack any interview which is I can do it right now.
Right.
Okay. Let me tell you that I once did a job in an enterprise software company which was making the medical software for the outside of Indian market, let's say US, UK market. Now every client is either American or British. So without communication, you cannot survive.
Yeah.
Now I did not have a technical skill, but they recruited only because of my communication skill that they have shown in the interview. Otherwise, when I reached out to them, they say, "Oh, you don't have any technical skill, so we don't have any positions for you." But then I convinced them because technology was my passion. So then say, "Okay, meet us." And during the interview or working with 3 to 4 managers over there during my interview, they say, "We want you because you can face clients very easily." So it's okay if you have little technical skill, or we are ready to train you for that. So they recruited me, and I was the one, compared to even software engineers, system designers, servers, I was the one who was facing more clients over there.
Yeah.
Right? So from India and other outside, all the doctors were our clients. So doctor can't going to accept the poor communication skills.
Yeah.
So I was the one who was facing more clients actually.
So what you're trying to get at is that more than technical skills, more than your technical qualifications, communication is even more powerful, right?
100 times. Even right now in my businesses, many of the time I'm not selecting people because they are so poor at communication. I mean, how you gonna handle my own clients?
Right.
Right? I know you have a technical skill, but communication improvement takes too much time. It is something that you have to invest by yourself.
Wow.
You can't do a 3 months course and you say, "Oh, I'm up for a communication skill." It's not that another software degree that you can just add to yourself. It's a long commitment process that you have to have for yourself in your life. And sometimes I see that kind of commitment that it's not coming up.
Yes, I definitely see that communication skills sorely are lacking in students that go to school and even colleges. It's sad
Even
to
in
say.
colleges.
One important skill is also negotiation.
Yeah.
Because everything is a negotiation actually, if you go to see, right? Not only with your boss, but with your colleague, with your wife, with your children. So how important do you believe is negotiation skills for communication?
It's everything. I believe that life is all negotiation.
Exactly.
So let's forget about getting a job or something. I believe life is negotiation.
Yeah.
Because if I'm with my friends, if I'm with my wife, like you pointed out, I'm anywhere, I'm not talking about that I'm going to make deals every minute with my wife or with my children. But there are situations where disagreement happens. There are situations where I feel that I am right compared to you.
Yeah.
Right? In any relationship, in any school, any college, any corporate world or business. In business, I have to deal with various partners coming from different backgrounds.
Right.
Lot of collaborations happen. You have to have a situation where everyone can work together.
Right.
So, do you think arguments are good?
Yeah, they could be good.
Yeah.
But mostly people think of it as a bad thing.
Yeah. But argument in which sense? That other person doesn't feel that he is losing everything. He or she is losing everything. Or we are disrespecting them.
Right.
Healthy arguments, healthy disagreements are fine. It's a part of a life and it's a part of a business. But I cannot say, oh, Ryan, you are wrong. Oh, Ryan, you don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan, my experience is better than you.
Right.
These are not the right way to, again. So negotiations, first encounter of negotiation is when you crack your first interview. Because if you are a fresher, you will see that corporate sucks the life out of you being a fresher. And why it happens? Because freshers are not at all good at negotiation during their interviews. We see that we are at the very back foot of bargaining.
Yeah.
Our main job is to get a job and we will agree to any terms and condition.
Right.
You will see that even if you are selected in a job, after a few months, if your review or measurement happens of your performance, and if you are not satisfied, many people will not have a right way to counter their managers or leaders. They cannot argue in a good manner.
Right.
They can argue in a black and white that doesn't look good in a corporate world.
Yeah, you can't do black and white basically.
Right? You have to have a work with your manager and leader in such a way that you are able to negotiate positively.
Excellent.
Right? So negotiation will also block you after your interview. You will not get promotion. You will not get opportunities. And if you do the business, and I think we already discussed in another podcast that we did, that if you migrate from a job mindset to business mindset, negotiation is something you have to work with, because every day you will meet different people, from client to partners to whosoever, another agencies or agents. If you do not have good negotiation skills, you can't hire people, you can't fire people, you can't work with your clients, you can't work with your partners, anyone. You will lose all the things.
That's an amazing insight. So, if I may conclude this topic on communication, what tips would you give, or which book would you suggest for improving communication skills?
So, for example, not only for communication but also for negotiations also. Communication is something that, okay, you can go to Amazon or Google and there are so many books. I don't have any specific books in my mind, but I suggest that start reading books. It doesn't matter which one. I have a saying that no book is ever useless. Every book will have a 10 times value in their life.
Yeah.
Because you should focus on reading, not the subject of the book.
Okay.
Because you are looking for new words, new way to form sentences, new way to form paragraphs.
Wow.
So let's say even if I am a commerce person, it's okay to read book on psychology. It's okay to read books on science topics. It's okay to read books on aliens and UFO technology, if that is your interest. Because your job is to train your mind to think, read and write properly.
Yep.
And when it comes to negotiation, I think even sometimes books will not help you when it comes to negotiation, because these are like real life raw talent which even books cannot help you. For negotiation, what I can say is interact with as many as people possible in your life. Go through all the challenges.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to work with people who are very educated.
Correct.
Very exposed. Sometimes you have to work with people who are not that exposed that because they are local businessmen. So there are ways in which you can do negotiations with different people.
Okay.
There is no any one method or one book which is going to help you out. You have to be good at negotiation with different kind of peoples around you.
Right.
So start working with as much as people so that you will understand their mindset and you will know different ways how I can work with this person now.
That's excellent. I really love that you said that you read books not for learning communication skill, but you learn new words, the way of forming sentences, the way of forming paragraphs. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a superb insight. Thank you, Chetan, for that. Let's move on to another topic, finance.
Okay.
Finance is something we're all hit with after a certain stage of life, and we literally don't know how to deal with it. You know, I mean, I'm married now. And when you're married also, it's a whole different thing, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you start working, as soon as money starts coming into your hands, you don't know how to deal with that. So one thing that schools don't teach us is finance. Can you talk about that?
Can I say a very unpopular opinion I have? School should start teaching finance from high school itself. The moment you go even 9th grade, I would start a detailed education of any children on right away from 9th standard. I will not wait more. The reason why I saying that we should start the finance education from the 9th standard because it takes years.
Yeah.
Also, during that age, your mind is so much open about taking that kind of complex knowledge.
Right.
And finance is something which is I consider as a life surviving skill. So what you said is that our goal should not be like, okay, I'm making X money. But the bigger challenge that nobody talks about it, what to do after you are earning money in your life. Nobody knows how to manage their money. From even a simple employee to the doctors, to the chartered accountants, nobody knows how to manage their money.
Oh, even chartered accountants.
Yeah, I have my fintech firm
Okay.
and I have a stock market background.
Okay.
My clients are also doctors and surgeons and even chartered accountants because see, our education is very traditional.
Right.
If you are a chartered accountant, doesn't mean that you are smart at managing money. If you are a top surgeon or a successful surgeon or an engineer, doesn't mean that you are good at management of money.
It's a different subject.
Because then you will lose everything what you earned so far,
Yeah.
or you will end up making bad decisions. So schools are totally missing out, Arvind. Can I give you one more example? If you take any corporate sector, if you take any office, right, go to their even lower level or higher level employees and ask them basic taxation related questions. That how your salary or your payment is being taxable. Most 90-95% of people do not have any idea about the different tax slab rates in their country. They don't know how exactly the tax calculation happens. They don't know anything about it. They are just relying on their finance department or chartered accountant. And do you know the entire goal of paying tax is just to save money? And I have seen people buying insurance policies or investing in mutual fund. Why? Because they just want to save money. They say my taxation.
And you're saying that's a wrong thing.
Yeah, because your goal should not be to save tax. Your goal is to manage money better for a longer term. So I have seen people, once they start earning good, and their question is, oh, I don't want to pay this much of higher taxes. How can I save? And their choices are insurance policy, mutual fund, this one. But are those insurance funds, are those mutual funds, are managed in a better way? In a long term for next 20 years, or you are just doing because you want to have more salary in your hand at your home that you want to spend, and you see tax is an expense, I want to save some money. That's a horrible way that we are doing in our society.
So what should people think of when paying tax?
Tax is necessary. One way or another way, you are going to pay certain amount of tax. Yeah, maybe you can reduce your tax by 10, 20, 30% based on what you are choosing. But don't invest in insurance policies or mutual fund just because you want to save some money in tax. Do you have a long-term plan that where your money is going, why your money is going? Or let me ask you one thing. The amount of money that you are putting in your insurance or mutual fund, don't you think there could be some better ways to even get maximum return out of it? See, people will focus, oh, what are you talking about? If I don't put my money, which is going in taxation one way or other way, I want to save by investing into insurance and the mutual fund, then I will lose that taxation part, right? But have you ever thought that there could be other many assets where you can not only later on in your longer life, you will get return in such a way that you will not even care about the way you are losing right now in taxation system. Because I can guarantee you 90-95% people don't care about management of their money. They care how much tax I can save this month or this year.
Yeah.
And if you sit down and if you do long-term calculation and if there are better assets available, you will save 5 times, 10 times more than what you are. It looks like it is a save right now, but it's an expensive choice.
Wow.
Right?
Never thought about that.
Yeah, and that knowledge is nowhere is available. That knowledge is nowhere available. Only certain people I've met in my life, they're talking about it. Even I was not aware of it. Then I met some people and I was like, wow, why I did not have this insight. That why I'm not sitting down calculating that in longer term, if I invest my money in better assets or if I become myself little bit capable in certain things, forget about tax, I can save as much as possible. I am not saying that don't put your money in tax saving schemes, but also understand that that should be not the goal of better money management. You should ask, my goal is better money management. Then right solutions will arrive. Saving tax is not a good way to better your manage your money better way.
Okay. Excellent. Another thing I learned about school is that basically the school system was created to make laborers for factories.
Yeah.
Right? Even how the school bell rings, the same bell would ring in factories. So the entire schooling system was created
Yeah.
to make more workers for the industrial era. So what is your saying on that? Do schools basically tutor you to just be an employee?
I have a very hardcore and offensive stance on this. In fact, I have told to many of my colleagues that they are perfectly manufactured employees by their school and college system. I have tell them on a face to face. Why? Because if somebody is my friend or my colleague, it's my job to provide them a right and better feedback in their life. Why? Because I have many colleagues, many friends who don't have any courage to have any bold argument or discussion with their own leadership or management team. And do you know that's why they are getting promoted more? Because I believe many of the private companies are just an extension of the government companies,
Oh, really?
right? Because look at our mindset when it comes to government job. We want to crack an exam and we want to sit there for a lifetime.
Yeah.
We want to do less work. We want security and everything. Go to most of the corporate sector. You will see people are still trying to settle down in their job. Oh, I got a job. I'm working for 5 years. They don't want to leave a company. You will see many companies in the managers are also behaving as same as they are working in a government sector. They will promote only those people who are like yes men, which call is yes men people.
Yeah.
That many of the middle management like people who follow their orders. That's it.
Right.
Whether it's right or wrong, okay, I'll promote the person who is going to follow.
Yeah.
They don't like the people who say, you know what, I know you are a manager for 3 years or 4 years and I'm giving interview for the next leader. If I will be selecting, I'm going to change this process in this manner. They don't like it.
Yeah.
And I have suffered from this and many of my colleagues suffered from this. And do you know, at 1 or 2 companies, the senior management did not approach me for a promotion because I am a very challenging person. I like to change processes. I like to do experiment. I like to challenge the revenue also. But they don't like it. And sometimes the managers and leaders are so insecure that they will not promote you because you have more talent. And I have many colleagues that who left India and went to other companies because they face this kind of problems. Right? So, yes, actually sometime from our family, the process of making you employee starts because we believe our parents are right. We have to respect them. Sometimes parents don't give a space for healthy disagreements also.
So it starts from home actually.
Yeah, so home will perform 20-30% works to make an employee. Respect your father, respect your mother. They are right. They know better than you. So why we don't have that space with our parents? Why discussing my knowledge, my experience, my way of thinking is attached to their respect? I prefer more those families where open discussion and disagreement happen and let your child decide few things. Even if your child fails, that's the right way for him or her to learn the consequences. You can't remove your child from the consequences.
Yeah.
That is a toxic help. That's a toxic guidance that as a parent you are doing. Now, same mindset in college. Respect teachers. Teachers are right. Parents are right. Don't argue with them. Teachers are right. Don't argue with them. And now, in job, your boss is right. Don't argue with them.
Wow.
You see
So
the
it's-
connection.
It comes whole circle.
And I have seen in my colleagues that those who have this kind of environment at home and that kind of relation with the teachers, they are the perfect employee. They will never think of quitting their job. They will suffer under any toxic managers you give. They will never take any initiative.
Yeah.
If you call them 10 times, they will come to 10 times. They will do overtime. They will not even have the personal life.
Yeah.
They will walk with the proud of title of their achievements. But they are losing their personal life and they can't even have a courage to say that, sorry, this is something I'm spending a time with my wife and children. They need my attention. At least I need 2 days off or 1 day off and I won't be available. They don't have that courage also. And I have seen their wives and children are also complaining. But from the childhood to the school to the college, they never had the courage to work in an environment where disagreements are accepted. So this is something like, we create followers mindset, we create employees right from the beginning.
That's a difficult cycle to break, especially when it starts in the home. But there is a way to change your mindset, to transform your mindset. Because I like what you said in another episode. It's not about the technical skills, about the mindset.
Mindset.
Mindset needs to change.
Yeah. But again, it's very hard to change mindset because first of all, you have to realize there is a problem. If I'm talking with you or we have a off camera discussion, I know you are realizing so many problems in your life. You agreed with me on so many things because you realize those are the problems. Now, what if we have a friend or colleague who say, no, there is nothing wrong in a school system. There is nothing wrong in the parents. There is nothing wrong in the teacher. And my boss is perfectly right. Boss is always okay. What if certain people cannot even see there is a problem?
Yeah.
You can't change them. It's a hopeless world for them, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the day you start to realize the problems, then you will try to change your mind also.
Absolutely. And we were just talking off camera and you said, I'm so upset actually. I'm so bitter about the fact that I wasted so many years of my life in the schooling system.
Yeah.
So why are you upset and what did you realize? Like what problem, as you said, first step is to realize there's a problem. What did you realize?
Now, if you ask me what are the top 3-4 regrets in my life, this is the most expensive regret I have, to be very honestly. And I'm very much open to speak at anywhere. If people don't have a tolerance to digest, let it be. But this is a fact, right? Let me tell you that the reason I felt that I have wasted years in my school and college is because, see, we go to school and college for what? At the end of the day, every middle class family is aiming for a job.
Right.
Let's be very practical about it. And job means money, right? Now, we are going for technical skills. Now, it's not necessarily that I'm going to spend entire year just to learn some technical skills.
Yeah.
Which if I am little bit talented, I can do it in 3 months also. What about the another 9 months?
Yeah.
There are many skill in terms of, if I'm coming from a commerce background, there are many subjects which I could complete within 3-4 months. And I was doing a job alongside my college. I was studying very low, few hours only, right? So I know what are my capabilities and what are the capabilities of other people. That entire learning curve is very different for everyone. I don't have to follow the format of year, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. If I can achieve the skill little bit early, can't I use the additional time to groom my other skills?
Yeah.
Or even school can't give that additional time to talk about communication, negotiation, finance, all the other skills. Many schools are not even teaching how to crack the interviews. Have you seen the resume of the people? I'm hiring the people. You will see every resume actually looks same. Have you noticed it? They are just copying each other's resume.
Yeah.
I give you a challenge. You can give it to go to any college, go to any IT company. You tell them, you pick up 100 people. You tell them that prepare your resume from scratch on a blank paper. I can challenge you that ratio will be less than 5%. They don't know how to prepare their resume from scratch. They are copying each other's resume.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't have a talent just to prepare a resume from scratch, which is talking about ourselves, nothing else. And now look at this. In terms of hobbies, what are the hobbies? What are the common hobbies you get? Listening to music, watching movies. Are these hobbies? Anyone is doing this, listening to music, watching movies.
Yeah.
Because we never spent any time, schools never groomed ourselves in finding our own self. That who I am, who is Chetan, who is Ryan, at on a personal deep level, what you are passionate about.
Right.
Because when I talk about hobby, that's a passion. Not everybody watching movies or listening music is so common that if you are a human being, you're gonna listen to the music and watch movies.
Yeah.
How can those are your hobbies? That means schools never give you time or attention to understand who you are and personally at what level, which subjects you like apart from the academics.
Absolutely. That's so much true. So let's move on to grades.
Yeah.
From a young age, we are taught, okay, you got to perform so well. If you do a test, you got to attain high grades. But I have personally seen in my life that grades are one of the smallest concerns. Now, I do believe that scoring high grades means that you have good discipline in your life sometimes. However, I've seen like people who have studied with me in universities, toppers, right? They are at a stage of life where they're trying to study more and more and get higher degrees. They're not married. And like it looks like they haven't really made much of their life. They're just studying more. How important are grades? What do you think?
No, grades suck actually. Grades are the biggest manipulation of entire education system. Be it India, be it USA, be it Canada. We want to remove the grades. Let's get out of the grading system. Why it's a manipulation? Just hear me out what I am about to say. Let's say you are studying in a school or a college. You have mathematics, you have social study, you have lot of subjects, and grades are given out of 100 or whatnot.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody is getting 100 out of 100, somebody is getting 90, 50, right? Now here is the biggest manipulation. Psychological manipulation starts. The people who are getting 100 after 100, 90 out of 100, they'll think they are better than anyone else. But your competition was only with 50, 60 people in your class.
Yeah.
Or if I combine the school, your competition may be extended to 200 people. Or if I take it to the university level, your competition in your core group could be just for the 2000 people. Now, what is the reality of the world we are living? Right now, a software developer coming from India has to directly compete with the software developers of Russia, USA, Canada, UK, everywhere. Because you can get a freelancing project also.
Yeah.
Also, US companies are going to outsource their entire project to India also. And there are large discussion and debates within their community in US and UK that their people are not getting correct job because of the Indian engineers. So did the US software developer or a designer ever try to groom himself or herself for the competition they might be getting from the Indian engineers? Because if I'm Indian or if I'm American, my competition in my school is always limited to 50, 70, 100, 200 or 2000 people.
Right.
If there is a high paying post is open, how many people, thousands of people are applying for the same post? And they are from the different college.
Yeah.
They may be from private college, they may be from public college, they may be from expensive college.
Right.
And my competition was just for 50 people. And right away in my first job, my competition entire criteria has been changed.
Yeah.
My competitors are from very expensive colleges. They had better teacher than me. They had better resources than me.
Yeah.
So right away, just outside of the college or school, my competition changes like anything.
Correct.
How I'm gonna survive over here?
Yeah.
So entire grading system makes you little bit proud, little bit arrogant that you have done something in your life.
Yeah.
But that the moment you go outside, you have to even compete with the people you don't know. They are invisible to you. Many of the time in USA, people get fired during recession because they outsource entire projects to India, China or anywhere they want to fit in, right? Have you ever thought that you are going to get fired because your company want a cheaper quote for the software development? Where is that training? Are your grades useful right now?
Yeah. So what it looks like is grades are just a number. Okay. But there are so many associated things which you need to take care of if you are to compete. And I like how you said that grades actually make you proud. Even though they're just a number, they make you proud.
Yeah.
It's an unrealistic estimation of your worth.
Yeah. Because I have my colleagues, when they enter into room, first the degree will appear.
Okay.
Before they enter into the room, because some of them have graduated from very nice and expensive colleges.
Okay.
So we like to walk with that kind of title that I'm from this college and this. I'm not criticizing 100%. Yeah, there are colleges which teach you nice. There are expensive colleges because there is a reason for it. I'm not saying no. I'm not totally against to them. But there is also a reality that in a longer time, to have a successful career or a life, grades are not so much focus anywhere in the world. Then your core talent, your mindset, your temperament, your perception, everything gets on priority.
Yeah.
Right? You can't become a CEO just because you were so good in mathematics or you graduated from expensive college. Look at all the CEOs in India and outside. Many of them have studied in a public school. Some of them even are college dropouts. Where are their grades? But they have become CEO or CEO because another reasons actually. Right?
Excellent. Now, the funny thing is, we go to a business school, right? Or even in school, there's this subject called entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And our teacher teaches it. Very often, this teacher has no idea about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Yet, we are taught about it. What are your views on that?
So in my college, they introduced a subject few years ago when I completed my college that they
And what were you studying at that time?
I'm a commerce graduate at that time. I think I graduated in 2009 or something. Now they introduced an entrepreneurship subject. And the entire argument about some new subject is that we want to prepare student for a reality check and everything. There was a huge drama about why we are doing this. And I appreciated it. But then the teacher who started entrepreneurship never did any business. They never even sold any sandwich or any software piece in the market.
Okay.
How the teacher is going to teach me about risk, risk management, launching a product, being an entrepreneur, pitching to the investor? So many things goes in an entrepreneur's life, because I have few businesses right now, so I know
Right.
how things are hard for being a businessman, right? So that teacher is going to teach me an entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I could not digest at all, and I actually skipped many of her lecture, and I personally also provided of her, because she complained that why some of you are not attending my lecture, and I personally, privately, in a very polite manner, I given my logic that I mean, it's a goal of this subject is just to get 100 out of 100 in entrepreneurship, and do you think this I and my colleagues are going to become entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this is a mistake, or a giant mistake is being done by even business schools also. You can't teach entrepreneurship or a business within your four walls or one room. Few years ago, one business channel had a very nice program in which they will reach out to the top people in the corporate sector who has a very high salary, and they say, oh, I'm handling this many clients. And you know what they challenge? Okay, you just run a simple grocery store. They will say, we will assign you this grocery store. You try to run it effectively, or try to increase the revenue of this grocery store. Or there is a small sandwich shop which is failing horribly. You take it over for a few days and you just try to make it successful. Now all of them were actually failing to deal with this, because these people graduated from a very good business school, right away given a very nice package, a very nice position. Most of the things were actually defined in their companies. You don't have to take too much risk to find your clients. You were more doing in terms of the management.
Yeah.
You never turn around any failed business into a successful one. Because if you have a failed business, and if you are able to turn it into a successful business, that person is much better than 1,000 teachers and 1,000 books.
That's true.
Because then you are a true businessman.
Yeah.
Coming from expensive college, working in a big top 5 companies, saying that I'm managing a portfolio of $100 million or blah blah blah, and there was a program. I forgot the name, but I think if you search on YouTube, there are business challenges, and they were not able to handle these business challenges at all. So what is the use of that degree and big jobs? We look successful because sometimes it's of our background or who we are.
Yeah.
But real challenges are on ground level, actually.
Absolutely.
Right?
You know, one of the things that I see a lot with the Indian schooling system is that we focus so much on memorization.
Yeah.
You know, I was studying in a British school in Qatar. I know there it's all practicality. It's all, in fact, the entire way we sit in a classroom is different compared to.
Oh, wow.
So then I came back to India in the 8th standard, and everything is on memorization. In fact, you may also know that in schools they also have cheat books.
Yeah.
You know, you can actually buy a guide. They're called guides, right? And the guide has all the answers to the mathematics textbooks, and all you have to do is copy it and give it as your homework, which I'm guilty of doing that myself.
We are all guilty of that.
So, you know, Indian schooling system focuses on the memorization, not really understanding, right?
Yeah. Because again, we are very obsessed about grades. Parents are very obsessed about the grades. Teachers are being pressurized to make students smarter and intellectual as compared to what is the reality. Every child is different.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why we are focused so much on memory, is that we don't want to know whether we are able to understand mathematics properly or not. We are able to understand history properly or not.
Yeah.
If you look at history, for me personally, it's a very interesting subject. It's not at all boring. Let's say if you have a National Geographic or Discovery Channel, they make some amazing documentary about the historical war and events. And I have seen children are not skipping even 1 minute about that war or any historical event.
Yeah.
Because the way the animation is done, the way the history is shown, they remember everything about it. But in school, the way we teach history is all about the memory. Because why? Because you want to pass in historical exams.
Right.
You need numbers. Many of the mathematician theories are so beautiful, but we lose the magic of that because we are so obsessed about the grades again. So I think parents, teacher, everyone is so obsessed about the memory rather than understanding the subject very carefully. So we actually, again, see, that's why we are actually wasting our time in school. Right?
Yes, I remember this. You were telling me you were so upset that you wasted so many years in school.
Yeah, and I'm open for this argument from anyone.
Mm.
And I'm always open to accept if I learn from someone. But there are things you have to accept. You can't say, no, this is wrong. We have to respect this. No, people are suffering. Our children are suffering. We are suffering in corporate and college world also. Right? Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, another thing which people don't realize is that each person is made differently. Each student is different. Everyone has their skills and their weaknesses. But what I see is that instead of focusing on the strengths, you try to fill up the weaknesses. You give more importance to the weakness. For example, if you're studying different subjects, if you're weak at maths, you'll give a lot more tuitions to maths, a lot more focus on maths. When in fact, as you said, even if you're a big mathematician or very good with numbers, that's not necessary that you're good at finance.
Yeah.
So what is your take on how the school system should deal with strengths and weaknesses of students?
I can give you 2 examples from my own life.
Okay.
So in 10th standard, I was extremely weak in mathematics.
Okay.
I was very scared and nervous when it comes to mathematics. My sister was amazing. Imagine being in India, being an Indian, you can't be weak in mathematics. Come on, we are known for our mathematics. And even some of the weaker students were very good in mathematics. And I was like very nervous. I didn't know why. But I had my own way to deal with mathematics. So in next 1 or 2 years, I try to buy books in advance. I work hard before even teacher teaches me. I try to understand why this math problem even exists.
Okay.
What is the logic to understand this chapter? Because I cannot just grasp it without understanding what is the reason behind it. So I started studying earlier. I started understanding the concept. And in the 12th standard, I started breaking the records of my own mathematical grades.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
in college, I broke the records of accounting examination because of my mathematical knowledge. But I had to work alone. No teacher could help me because I was lagging behind. People leave this student behind, right? But I was able to find my own teaching style.
Yeah.
Right? So there you go. Every caliber is different. Now you can say technically, oh, Chetan, you were very weak. But no, maybe for that specific subject, I needed little bit more time, little bit more different way to understand those things. If I understand properly, I can grasp it later on. I can give you one more example. See, I have seen parents complaining in my childhood to their children, don't play cricket. Oh, you are wasting your time. Do you know that I used to have friends who were so good at cricket, genuinely good at cricket, that other societies used to come to pay to them to have the matches with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those good batsmen and bowlers, right?
Okay.
They were being invited by other groups, towns and society, and they say, we have a match. We don't have good batsmen. We will pay you per match. You come because your batting is so good. And I used to have those colleagues, right?
That's amazing.
Now parents say it's a waste of time. The same parents will clap and cheer for the top batsman right now.
Absolutely.
And how much our top batsmen are earning? Millions.
Yes.
And we follow them.
Yeah.
We say that they are our heroes. They are on every social media, every television channel. They are being interviewed. They are celebrated as god or legends. Look at their parents. Many of the parents do not have a good background. But when they identified that my child is good in table tennis or a lawn tennis or a football, they say, if he or she is good, we need to focus that more. Can we arrange a coach for that?
Yeah.
As a parent, can I invest more effort into that? You don't need too much money. There are parents of these amazing athletes or sports person who did not have any money, coming from a very normal background. All they did is that they committed to that skill. They did not complain. Oh, you are good in football, but you suck at mathematics. Imagine our heroes right now in every sport championship right now, if they were being criticized for a mathematics or history, what is their situation right now could have been, right? Imagine. So don't you think they also have a parents? And so why we complain about the things wherein we are very good at it? If my maths is good, I should get more attention, coaching and mentorship for maths rather than getting attention and coaching for the history, right? Because every student, every mind is very different. Yeah, you have to work on every subject just to become little bit good at every subject, have a working knowledge of it. But what are my strengths? So if you groom my strength, I can I can become successful 10, 20, 30 times.
Absolutely.
But we try to groom the weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And that's where we go wrong.
You know, a lot of parents are going to be watching this episode, a lot of students. And there's so much, honestly, there's so much gold in this episode.
In this
you know?
episode.
There's so much value that people can apply to their life.
Yeah.
And honestly, now I have 2 young children. Even
Yeah.
I am thinking,
Yeah.
what can I do for my children so that they don't waste years of their life just going through the education system? So, what would you say? What would your suggestion be to parents, to students, to maybe not abandon the schooling system, but do a few things in their personal lives that can benefit them for the future, for the real world?
Yeah. See, one reality is nobody is able to change the education system overnight. We can just complain, and I'm planning to do 1 or 2 more episode on the education system and other things. But if you have a children or if you are a student, of course, you don't need to get out of the school right now because working knowledge of many subjects are required. Of course, you need your school friends also. That is also an amazing time that you should not miss out also.
Yes.
But I can say that if you're a parent, then make sure that you don't get obsessed about grades. You don't pressurize them into unnecessary fake competitions. That competition will not matter within 1 hour in the outside of school once they jump into the real world.
Yeah.
So let's not mentally pressurize them. And let me tell you, each child is very much capable in their own mindset in a different category.
Absolutely.
Your job as a parent is to understand who is my child, what they are good at,
Yep.
and try to find a ways where you nurture and mentor the good things. Don't consider that somebody is not good at history or something. Don't take it, because every one of us is made for different things. It's okay to have working knowledge of few subject, but find out the real potential. Give wind, water, and any nourishment you can give to those things. Your children will mentally also glow very well. They will be very happy with you. Their mental health will be improved. Have you seen so many suicides are being done by the children? That is another topic we will talk about in another episode, because otherwise we will stretch out too much. But I want to talk about it. Why students go into depression? Why they do suicide?
It's
Right.
very sad.
Don't you think that as a society we have failed it?
Yes.
We can't do arguments about it. When children have a mental health issue, they are scared to come to the parents about the bad grades or something like that. Right? So don't pressurize them. Give them a very good mental health. Accept them for who they are. Find the good parts of your children and find ways how you can mentor them, coach them, and nurture them, and make ready for the real world. That's it.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
We've had such an amazing episode, Chetan. Thank you so much. We've covered a lot of different topics:
Yeah.
finance, memorization, communication skills.
Communications.
I think every student should watch this episode. More important than students, the parents, because education starts at home.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Chetan. It's been an excellent episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for watching this episode. I personally believe that a small idea or a simple conversation has the power to change our life, and that's why I created this channel. Let me tell you that if you have anything to share with me, if you want to reach out to me, I'm available on all of the social media and my messages are always open. Secondly, if you really like my efforts and content, can I request you to please like this video, like my content, and subscribe to my channel. It helps me to reach out to as many as people possible in this world. Thank you very much. See you soon.